Alright, welcome back to part 3 of our big East Texas Piney Woods loop. As you saw, we just left the parking lot of Whataburger in Livingston, but before I even started up the engine, I did add additional oil to the crankcase because I know that even after a couple hours or so, this engine does eat up a little bit of oil. And as a precaution, adding a little bit of oil can go a long way to cooling down your engine. So if you know your bike that well, do whatever you got to do to take care of it. And as you can see right here, I got over to the right lane and slowed down to make sure that paramedic had plenty of breathing room for wherever it had to go. Always treat any kind of emergency vehicle with the utmost respect because you never know where they're going. You'll never know if they're going to turn in front of you to go to an accident scene or if they're going to turn out in front of you to go to another building because the accident's there. I know that's pretty much common sense for any seasoned driver, but it never hurts to get a little reminder. Now the temperature has risen a little bit as it is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on this day. I estimate that it's around 77 degrees Fahrenheit with light and variable winds from the south-southeast. And as you can see, we are going eastbound on US-190, and today we're going to go through Woodville and going to make a gas stop over in Jasper. I know that I did not clean the camera lens here. I do apologize about that. But at least this way you'll get a sense of what riders see whenever they go through a lot of bugs, especially on a long riding day with virtually no other assistance to help you out. I guess that's the best way I can put it. But in the meantime, we are approaching a nice intersection that leads to a section of old downtown Livingston. Looks pretty nice and quaint. But in the meantime, I have to press on. So hang on and enjoy the ride. Up here on the left, you should be able to see offices for the Alabama-Coushatta Indian tribe. And here is a little bit of history about the Alabama-Coushatta tribe from alabama-coushatta.com. The Alabama-Coushatta tribe of Texas has the oldest reservation in the state, located on approximately 10,200 acres in the Big Thicket of deep East Texas. The tribe is a fully functioning sovereign government with a full array of health and human services, including law enforcement and emergency services. There are more than 1,300 members, about half of whom live on the reservation. The tribe is governed by an elected tribal council and advised by a principal chief, Donis Batiste, Migo Choba, Chief Kanaku, and second chief, Millie Thompson-Williams, Miko Istamatokola, Chief Bolika Estaya. If I mispronounce his names, I apologize. The tribes lived in adjacent areas in what is now the state of Alabama. By 1780, the tribes had migrated to modern-day East Texas. Although they were two separate tribes, the Alabamas and Coushattas have been closely associated throughout their history. Their cultures have some differences, but for the most part, are nearly identical. During the Mexican War of Independence from Spain, the tribes fought with the revolutionaries. Their many combined contributions included a battalion of 300 warriors who were instrumental to the capture of San Antonio in the April 1st, 1813 battle. The newly formed Mexican government recognized both tribes independently and offered them tracts of land for permanent settlement. Those lands are attributed to the tribes in early maps of the region, including Stephen F. Austin's 1829 map of Texas. In 1836, Sam Houston brokered a treaty with the tribes before the Texas War of Independence from Mexico. The agreement provided the title of land between the Natchez and Sabine rivers for one community with both tribes in return for assurance the tribes would not side with Mexico. Tribal members served as guides for Houston's army and provided provisions to feed Texas refugees fleeing from Santa Anna's army. Today, Houston's descendants still acknowledge that contribution to the Republic of Texas. Some timeline facts. In the 1780s, the Alabama and Coushatta tribes migrated across the Sabine River into Spanish-controlled territory of modern-day Texas. 1813. Both the Alabama and Coushatta tribes distinguished themselves in the Mexican War of Independence. 1836. The tribes assist Sam Houston's army during the Texas War of Independence from Mexico. 1839. The Republic of Texas recognizes the tribe's equitable claim to lands in the new country. 1987. The Restoration Act passes Congress and restores the Alabama-Coushatta tribe to federal recognition. are now approaching the small town of Woodville, Texas. Here's what the Texas State Historical Association has to say about the small town of Woodville. Woodville is on US Highways 190, 69, and 287 and the Texas and New Orleans Railroad, near the geographical center of Tyler County. It was established in 1846 when Tyler County was separated from Menard District. In the same year, Woodville won the election for county seat from Town Bluff, the temporary seat, and from another proposed site on Wolf Creek in the northeast part of the county. The town was laid out on 200 acres in the Turkey Creek area, donated to the county by Dr. Josiah Wheat. Wheat, the first physician of record in the area, moved with his family to Tyler County from Alabama as a settler. The town was named in honor of George T. Wood, second governor of Texas. In 1847, Woodville received a post office with James H. Fulgham as postmaster. The Leah Inn, erected in 1847, later became the Eden Hotel. The first Tyler County courthouse was a two-story log house completed in 1849. The Woodville Academy was established that year, and classes were held in the new courthouse building. As early as 1849 or 1850, the Woodville Methodist Church was listed as a mission, with Acton Young as the first pastor. The first Baptist church in the area, called Bethel Baptist, was established in 1851. In the early 1850s, 2 stage lines came through town, carrying mail 2 times a week. The community had 25 long homes, 2 hotels, 2 dry goods stores, and 2 saloons. Woodville was incorporated in October 1856. The voters elected S. Hall mayor and N.A. Penland, P.A. Work, B.F. Ross, and S.B. Johnson alderman. Around 1857, a second courthouse, a 2-story frame building, was built. In 1859, the Woodville Male and Female Institute was established. The present courthouse, a 3-story brick structure, was erected in 1891 and was remodeled in 1935, losing its Victorian embellishments in favor of a simpler, more modern style. After the Civil War, federal soldiers were stationed in Woodville for 9 years under the command of Major L.A. Singer. Sawmills opened in Woodville and many other towns on the Texas and New Orleans. Sawmilling dominated the life of the area through the first half of the 20th century. In 1946, there were 2 mills at Woodville, and 50 cars of poles and pilings were shipped out each week. As late as 1965, the Woodville Lumber Company was the largest sawmill in the county, employing more than 100 workers and turning out over 1 million board feet of lumber a month. Woodville also produced pulpwood, poles, construction and piling timbers, fence posts, and handles. J.E. Wheat was elected mayor in 1929. During his administration, the city levied taxes for the first time. By 1934, a water system with a 200,000-gallon capacity was completed, and an $80,000 gas system was begun in 1938. At the same time, a volunteer fire department was established. In 1948, US Highway 190 was constructed. The first Tyler County Dogwood Festival was held in 1940. Woodville had a population of 518 in 1890, 1,521 in the 1940s, and 2,636 in 1990. In 2000, the population was 2,415. In 1986, the community had 2 newspapers, the Tyler County Booster and the Woodsman. 2 museums, the Allen Shivers Museum and Heritage Garden Village, a museum of local pioneer history, an airport, a hospital, 2 nursing homes, and a jail. Special events included the annual Dogwood Festival, the first weekend in April, which followed Western Weekend, the last week of March. When I saw the traffic come to a complete stop up ahead, I really wasn't sure why. It wasn't until well after the fact that I realized what was happening. It turns out this section of US-190 crosses over the Steinhagen Lake, and that bridge was under construction, as it was narrowed down from 2 lanes to just 1 lane. So like many other bridges in this situation, traffic had to go only one way for a certain period of time. And as you saw, I arrived just as the traffic from the other side was crossing over. I still had to wait another 8 minutes before I was able to restart the engine and start our crossing. Now, a little bit about the Steinhagen Reservoir from the Texas State Historical Association. Lake B.A. Steinhagen is on the Neches River, a half-mile north of Town Bluff in Tyler and Jasper counties. It is impounded by the Town Bluff Dam. The lake has a drainage area of 7,573 square miles. Its paved earth-filled dam has a spillway crest elevation of 85 feet above mean sea level. Construction on the dam by Reynolds, William, and Noonan Construction Company started in March 1947. The dam is owned by the United States government and is operated by the United States Army Corps of Engineers. The lake, which is 8 miles long and 4 miles wide, is crossed near its midpoint by US Highway 190. Martin Dias Jr. State Park and Sandy Creek Park are on its banks. As we approach the small town of Jasper, Texas, here's what the Texas State Historical Association has on Jasper. Jasper, the county seat of Jasper, Texas, is on US Highways 96 and 190, State Highway 63, and Sandy Creek in north central Jasper County. The site was settled around 1824 by John Bivell. 30 families occupied the settlement as early as 1830, when it was known as Snow River or Bevell's Settlement. In 1835, it was renamed for William Jasper, a hero of the American Revolution. Jasper became the county seat in 1844 by an act of the Texas Congress. A post office was established there in 1846, and travelers reported a population growth from 40 to 400 in the decade from 1848 to 1858. During the Civil War, the town housed a Confederate quartermaster depot. Antebellum educational institutions included the Jasper Male and Female High School, which operated until 1878, when it became the Southeast Texas Male and Female College, and Jasper Collegiate Institute, which operated from 1851 until 1874 and was absorbed by the public schools in 1908. A weekly newspaper, the Jasper Newsboy, has been published continuously since 1865. The population declined to 360 in 1870, reflecting the hardships of the Civil War, but by 1885 had risen to 1,000. In that year, the communities had 3 saw and grist mills, a cotton gin and planing mill operated by power from Sandy Creek, 2 churches, and a college. The town exported cotton, hides, and pine logs. In 1896, Jasper had a population of 1,200 and a 1-teacher school with 81 pupils. With the arrival of the Gulf, Colorado, and Santa Fe Railway early in the 20th century, Jasper grew into a center for the manufacture of timber products. Lumber from 2 sawmills with a daily capacity of 125,000 board feet, goods from basket and stave factories, logs, ties, poles, and pulpwood were shipped in 200 cars per month. Supplies of timber were also sent to paper mills at Evadale. Jasper served as headquarters for the Lower Neches Valley Authority's construction program, including Dam B at Town Bluff, and engineering and surveying for a dam at Maggie Bend on the Angelina River. In 1957, the community had 185 wholesale and retail businesses, in addition to 30 manufacturing establishments and 2 lumber mills. It also had 7 churches and enrollment in local schools of 1,400 and 3 hotels. Local farmers raised broiler chickens and beef, and in the 1950s turned to dairying. Jasper also became the headquarters of Morgan and Lindsay Incorporated, variety chain stores, which at one time operated 85 stores in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. The population grew steadily after 1925, rising from 1,500 to a high of 6,500 in 1967. The number of businesses fluctuated between 75 and 225. After a brief decline in 1969, in 1990 the community reached a peak of 7,267 residents and 222 businesses. By 2000, the population was 8,247 with 748 businesses. The only known soldier of the American Revolution to be buried in Texas was Jasper resident Stephen Williams, in whose honor a marker had been placed on the courthouse lawn. I very much planned for Jasper to be a gas stop for my bike and also allow me a time to stretch. So this will be a good spot for me to go ahead and end this video. I really hope you enjoyed this beautiful, picturesque ride through the deep piney woods of East Texas, and hopefully you enjoyed the historical perspectives of the small towns of East Texas, and there's plenty more similar to Woodville and Jasper as well as Livingston. But don't forget, the final part will be the final home stretch from Jasper through Mauriceville and Orange back over the bridges. So look out for that video very soon. In the meantime, this is SFAPowerhouse signing off, and I thank you for enjoying this ride. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care, God bless, and as always, enjoy the ride.